Hello, hello. Eva here. And it's not Tuesday, it's Wednesday, but I'm checking in with you. So, welcome to the broadcast, and I have a special guest I'll introduce in a minute. All right. So, today we're going to be talking about travel like it is right now. Recently, I traveled for the first time during the pandemic, and Nicole has traveled for the first time during the pandemic. So we wanted to share with you. But before I do that, I want to um, take a moment for a little introduction, and then we'll be right back. Oops, one moment. Okay, here we go. All right. So as you can see, we have a special guest here today. And let me introduce you to our special guest, Nicole S. Cooper. Welcome to the broadcast, Nicole. And can you share a little bit about yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Nicole Cooper, and I am one of Miss Eva's wonderful travel clients. How about that? No, I had a chance to experience one of her amazing group tours in travel. We are good friends. I like to call her my Mama Eva. She was one of my real estate clients many moons ago, and we've been together and connected ever. Yeah, and when I had my first goal to do a group travel trip and take 28 people to Jamaica, little did I know that I was with the greatest and best group travel packaging concierge companies in the world with Sam and Eva. So we had a chance to experience it, and we are definitely travel bugs. We love to travel.
Yes.
And so, I'm actually in town with Mama Eva right now. Just going into Orlando.
All right. Well, tell me just a little bit about what you've gone through the last week or so, because you are currently in Texas, and what was that like?
So travel, to be honest, this is not my first time traveling since the pandemic. I'm trying to think, did I fly before? But I will honestly say this is like the best time to travel because everybody is so overly cautious. It's like the best time to hop on a plane. The prices are amazing, and everybody is super obsessive about making sure that they're safe. That it has been a wonderful experience. I enjoyed it. I had a really, really good trip coming down here. But I would just say, number one, the airports are empty. It almost is sad, right? You pull up and it looks like a ghost town. There's no cars parked. I actually did the park and ride, and I think I spent maybe $4.95 a day for it. And it was like, I thought it was abandoned. It was empty. It was like one small little side rows of cars. And so the guy told me, he said, yeah, it's been so slow for a whole year. So did that. It was easy breezy, got us to the airport. And then when we get to the airport, nobody's in the line for security. They're not asked. They do ask you to still take your shoes off, but she did not. What did she see? She just wanted to see my ID. They no longer needed to. I don't know how they did it. It was something that she did. They're not asking for something.
Yeah, before they used to actually take your ID, you handed it to them. Now it's all touchless.
They didn't want my ID. I think I had to show it to her. She looked at it, but it was just less hands-on, shall I say. And it was kind of easy breezy. The line was short. We still had to do security where you had to take your shoes off and put everything through. A lot of the restaurants are closed, right? A lot of the newsstands. And so, but boarding the plane, they started from the back to the front instead of the front to the back. So they had everybody load. So if you're in the back of the plane, you got on first, and then I was on JetBlue. It was amazing. I'm now a JetBlue fan, by the way.
Yes, JetBlue is awesome.
It is I felt luxury. I was like, this is like a luxury ride for a regular, inexpensive plane ticket. And so they still gave us snacks and still gave us drinks. And the plane, I had the whole row to myself. So it was wonderful. Like I tell people, this is the best time to travel to me.
Yeah. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, a lot of people are not traveling right now. And from my clients, a lot of them are just, travel is on hold. So the airports are not as crowded. We recently flew and had some hesitation about traveling, but it was my niece's wedding. So we said, we're going. And everything went wonderfully in terms of the wedding. It was in the park. We were socially distanced and all of that. But just like you said, the airport was not full. When you drove up, was not a lot of people. Going through security was quick and easy. I don't think I've ever been through security so fast.
Okay. Yeah.
So fast, yeah. And they are social distancing. A lot of things are touchless. When your boarding pass, you scan that. So when you're traveling with your boarding pass, just in case your Wi-Fi is out or your phone battery is low, make sure you take a picture of your boarding pass so you're not dependent on Wi-Fi so that's a suggestion that I would have. But it went relatively well. You have to wear your mask. I always recommend bringing your alcohol with you. And one of the things that I did, and I don't know, Nicole, did you do this? I brought wipes with me. And so I wiped down.
I usually have
the tray table, the seat belt buckle, anything that somebody put their hands on. I had wipes, and I even offered it to the people next door to me in case they didn't have.
I usually keep mine. I didn't have them this time, but yeah, those are things for people, especially if you have a high sensitivity to everything happening and you have extra concerns. Definitely take your wipes.
Right. And there was most people had masks on, but there was even people on the flight that had the face shield. They had the shields on. That made them feel comfortable. So, when you travel, you want to do what makes you comfortable and what you feel most comfortable with. Oh, we have some visitors. Hi, Jackie.
Thanks, Jackie.
For joining us. And Jackie said, good to know about the Orlando airport. Yes, it was not crowded, and they are practicing social distancing. And it was really, like she said, it was really a pleasant trip.
It was wonderful. Yeah, I think I flew somewhere else since the pandemic. I can't remember where. And it was awesome. I've actually really enjoyed traveling in this situation because it's less people. So it's less hassle. Everything is kind of easy breezy, kind of getting through it all. I will say when we came out of the Orlando airport, though, it was trafficy. It was a lot of people out picking up people, I guess. Mm-hmm. I think that travel is going to begin to pick up. I am from Texas. So, I live in Texas. So if y'all haven't heard, the governor lifted the mask mandate as of next week. But
I can't believe it.
I can believe it. But tons of businesses has said that may be the governor's words, but that's not how we're functioning in our organization. So you're going to find that most people are still going to require your mask. They're still requiring masks and everything. So
that's good. All right. Well, one of the things that I really want to encourage the audience is, if you're ready to travel right now, check in and make sure that you are checking to see what the requirements are. Because when we left New York, New York has a different requirement at this time, and things are changing every day every hour basically. But they had requirement that if you're coming into New York, the New York airports, LaGuardia and Kennedy, that you had to fill out a health assessment form, and then you could show it on your phone. If you didn't have it, the the National Guard was there, and you could not leave the airport. They handed out a form to you to fill out. You had to uh, turn that in, and then you could leave. And then you had to, I think on the form it had a requirement to quarantine, and it had different rules and regulations on there.
So let me say this for people, and this is a far shot, maybe it doesn't apply, but people going to Hawaii. So I had a friend just recently go to Hawaii. Now, Hawaii has a requirement that you take a test, and it is a specific type of test before you come to Hawaii. My friend took the test, got to Hawaii, and they turned her around. They told her she had to fly back to California at her own expense and take that test before she can come back, or she had to stay on the in the facility for 14 days and could not leave the room, and they would call her every hour on the hour to make sure that she stayed quarantined in the room.
Wow.
So that's what's going on with Hawaii right now. So there are certain states that there are certain states that are very strict, and they are policing it. Like and Hawaii is expensive. So for her to have to pay for a plane ticket
from California.
No, she went from Atlanta.
Oh.
She flew from Atlanta to California, then from California to Hawaii, to have to fly back to California to go spend $150 to take the test for her and her husband, because this was their honeymoon. They had to stay in California for a night, and they got the results, and they had to buy another plane ticket to go back to Hawaii. And there was no type of accommodations extra for that. So I will say you do want to research what locations you're going to and see what kind of, requirements that they have, because like Hawaii, some states have different expectations.
And I have another story to share too, that I have a friend who, her husband decided, she's been through a lot. I'm going to take her on vacation. So they booked flights to Puerto Rico, and they checked with the airline, and the airline said, at the time that they booked the ticket, the airline said, you don't have to do anything special. Well, when they left, packed up, they're excited. His wife is like, oh gosh, my husband is taking me away. They got to the airport, to the ticket counter, and the reservation, the agent asked for their COVID test, and they didn't have one. And their trip, they had to go back home and didn't go on the trip. So I don't want that to happen to you. That's why we recommend, especially now, to use a travel consultant, travel agent, because things are changing by the moment. And you don't want to have the excitement, and there's a lot of pent up excitement for people who haven't traveled, and now you get to the airport and you can't go.
And
go ahead.
Jamaica now requires COVID test 72 hours prior and not 10 days prior.
So Jamaica has changed their requirements. So it's changing by the moment, and Jackie is a professional travel consultant also. So we're keeping up with the changes and what's happening. And a lot of people are DIYers. They want to do it. They don't even think about using a travel professional. But right now, I would strongly recommend it, so that you protect your investment, you enjoy the trip. So many of us have been home, not been able to travel. And when you get out, you don't want to get to the airport and say, you don't have the proper documents. You can't go.
Yeah, and they will do that.
Jackie also said there's several parking rides in Atlanta. They were full this week.
Listen, Atlanta's not quarantining nothing. Atlanta is partying and turning all the way up. So I don't even think we can change for Atlanta since all this has happened. I am seeing so much stuff happening in Atlanta where I'm like, They are ignoring anything about a pandemic, but yeah.
Okay. Well, and Nicole, it's great that you got a chance to get out because you were in Austin, and did you say you had no water,
No water, no power,
no power for how many days?
5 days.
Wow. How did you manage?
Thank God we had a gas stove.
Oh,
We had a
so
gas stove, so we were still able to cook food, and we were able to. My mom, Caribbean people buy them big old pots, right?
mhm.
And so we had a huge pot where we just kept putting snow in it to melt it, to use it to flush the toilets or do what we had to do. So that's the only way we managed. And unfortunately, having Caribbean parents, my mom made sure that I kept an extra of everything in my garage. So we had everything. We had water, we had food, we had toilet tissue, right? The wonderful fear of toilet tissue going away. I don't know where that comes from, but we had everything we needed to sustain. It was freezing. It was 9 degrees. It was a snowstorm. But compared to what most people went through, it was easy breezy for us, I'd say, because we didn't deal with busted pipes and, water pouring throughout our living room, ruining all of our furniture. So when people ask how was it, I was like, we got it easy because there's a lot of damage done. Yeah, we did have a wreck. I had I slid on some ice and had a little fender bender, but it was small. I mean, it was just scratches on the other person's car. It wasn't anything even to worry about, but it was scary sliding on ice, black ice.
I think even though it was a challenge, Nicole has 2 lovely children. I think it's good for the children to see a little bit of struggle. They probably thought it was fun going out and get water for the toilet. Did they?
Yeah, I mean, it was beautiful. I tell people it was like Colorado came to Texas's door. It was so gorgeous. Everywhere, and the kids got to go play in the snow. My son was obsessed with it, and he wanted to stay in it the whole time. He pretty much did. I don't care how wet he was always outside. So for the kids, it was awesome. It was an adventure. And being that we had just had a conversation a couple of days before, like, Mom, I've never seen, or they saw snow 1 or 2 times. They did. But they were just discussing snow, and it was like, God heard your prayer. He brought us snow.
Snow. I know the children enjoyed it. But
yeah.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come live today, and just wanted to share with everyone. It was my first time, Nicole's maybe second time traveling, what it's like, and things for you to be aware of. And if you would like to stay connected with Nicole, did you want to share a little bit about what you do or how people can stay connected with you?
Yeah, I'm an online business consultant, and I actually help people turn their skills or any level of service-based business that they have into a premium program or service. I teach people how to turn their expertise into an empire. If you want to learn more about me and what I do, you can follow me at Nicole S. Cooper on all social media sites.
All right. Well, thank you very much. And
thank you, Eva.
You're welcome. A little bit about me. I'm a group travel event specialist. And if you're interested in doing a group travel event, then you can complete the survey at group.travelwitheva.com. And then I offer you a complimentary consultation and you can schedule it at schedule.travelwitheva.com.
Can I share my experience really quick so they can really get an insight into that?
Sure.
Okay, y'all. So let me just tell y'all real quick, 60-second version. We wanted to take some folks. I had a beautiful, big, grandiose, bright idea. We all have bright ideas. You have no idea what kind of work is attached to your bright ideas. I had a big, bright idea to get mansions over in the islands and take these people. I had no idea what was included in that process. But I had somebody who was a professional in my network. And it just so happened that I talked about it to Miss Eva and told her we wanted to take some folks over to Jamaica. And she found these resorts, or we probably found them together, big, beautiful villas over in a specific part of Montego Bay, Jamaica. And the planning started. And y'all, they made it so effortless and seamless. I didn't realize how many different layers and steps it was involved. We took 28 people. We had 3 different villas, mansions. We had like a 10,000 square foot one, and we had another one that was like 5,000 square feet. And we had different payment levels, and we had private chefs, and you had to sit with the chefs and come up with the menu. Then we had excursions. You had to coordinate the excursions. You had to deal with the travel. You had to make sure you had the transportation. You had to make sure you had waivers signed. It's a whole lot of work. And guess what? They went with us. They took care of everything, and we touched nothing. All we did was send payments. And to this day, that was what, 2013? To this day, people cannot stop talking about that trip. It was the best trip. So we're going to be doing some more soon. We've been talking about it. It was the best trip that everyone who went on a trip had ever had. And it was so well organized, so well orchestrated, and so luxurious. It was luxurious, y'all. We had
it was
lobster, crab.
It was a lot of work on our end, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
And they went with us. They actually was there with us to take care of everything. So when anything popped up, we didn't even know about it. It's worth it to hire an agent. If you want to actually go on vacation and be on vacation, and you want to have a great stress-free trip, use an agent. You want to use Travel with Eva and Jordan Travel Enterprises for your travel.
Well, thank you so much for that endorsement. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Jackie, for joining. And if you're watching the replays, put replays rock in the comments. And next week, I wanted to share this with you. Next week, on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be back with my special guest, and we are going to reveal a tour for next year. And it's actually 2 tours. We just finished Black History Month, and Black History Month it's just a month, but there's so much rich history. And we are going to be doing 2 tours. One is a civil rights tour, and the next one is the Underground Railroad tour. And it's going to be amazing. And I'll be sharing all the details with you on next Tuesday at 7 p.m. So don't miss out. Or if you can't watch it, check out the replay. And it is going to be, it's going to be a great trip, very educational, real motivating. We have special gifts and prizes and special touches in store for you. It's going to be something like you've never experienced before. So don't forget, next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Thanks so much, Jackie. And thank you so much, Nicole. You remember you can so enjoy the rest of your stay here in sunny Orlando. And I always like to end my broadcast by saying, have a blessed day, evening, or night, wherever you are. And do take time to be a blessing to someone else. Bye for now.
Bye-bye, everybody.